Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss some questions from experimental techniques. It's one of the easiest chapter, but still we find difficult when it comes in the exam, right? Yeah. So we'll discuss that. Let me share the screen. Yeah, here you go. See this question. A list of techniques used to separate mixtures is given below. So some of the techniques are given below and you have to choose from the list and paste over here. So first one is water from seawater. People make mistake over here. How to separate water from seawater? Now immediately what they choose, immediately they'll select evaporation. Okay, but evaporation is not the correct answer. We select evaporation for this, but it is not the answer because you can separate water, but you cannot store water. By heating it, it evaporates, but you cannot store it. So what is the correct answer over here? Simple distillation is the correct answer, right, for the first question. So why simple distillation? By simple distillation, you can remove the water vapor. As a vapor, it goes and it condenses and you can collect the water so that you can separate water from seawater, right? Next, helium from a mixture of helium and methane. Both are gases. So here, no confusion, just diffusion, right? Number 2. Then ethanol from a mixture of ethanol and propanol. So ethanol, propanol, both are liquid, right? So liquid in the sense which has a MR value, this is less MR value than propanol, which means ethanol has lower MR value than propanol. In the sense you can use fractional distillation, which means which has different boiling points, right? So you can use fractional distillation for liquids, right? Yes. What about the fourth one? Iron fillings from a mixture of iron fillings and water. This is easy, very easy, because by filtration you can filter the iron fillings from water, right? Next, a mixture of two amino acids, glycine and alanine. Again, for this children, soluble solids, in the sense we use chromatography. So glycine and alanine are amino acids which are soluble solids. So we have to use chromatography, right? Chromatography. So yes, let's discuss one more question from the same chapter. So you just try yourself whether you can able to do it. A list of techniques used to separate mixtures is given below. Filtration, diffusion, fractional distillation, simple distillation, crystallization, chromatography. Now see the question. Butane from a mixture of propane and butane. Butane from a mixture of propane and butane. How to separate this? Actually, butane is a gas, propane is a gas, right? Both are gases. So gases, in the sense, what method we have to use? We have to use diffusion, right? We have to use diffusion. Oxygen from liquid air. So here they confuse us. Liquid air, but in liquid air, no, oxygen also has a liquid, right? So oxygen from liquid air, which means it is not diffusion. You have to use fractional distillation, okay? And then water from aqueous magnesium sulfate. This is very important question, children, because we make mistakes over here. Water from seawater we have seen in the previous question, right? Kind of same question, because seawater is a mixture of salt solution. But over here, particularly they said magnesium sulfate. Aqueous magnesium sulfate is a salt solution. So in salt solution, you have to remove water. The salt will be there in the container, which means what we have to use? It's a simple distillation. Again, I'm telling you, it is not crystallization or evaporation. It is simple distillation because you need water. You have to separate water from the salt solution. Next, potassium chloride from aqueous potassium chloride. Yeah, these two questions only confuse, like you'll get confused with these two. The reason is over here potassium chloride from aqueous potassium chloride, which means this is also salt solution. But in this salt solution, you have to separate salt. But in this salt solution, you have to separate water. But there's a difference. To separate water, we use simple distillation. To separate salt, what we have to do? Crystallization. If crystallization is not there, then you can use evaporation, right? Okay, next up. Silver chloride from a mixture of silver chloride and water. Again, silver chloride is a precipitate, right? White precipitate. We know chlorides of silver. Silver chloride is white precipitate, silver bromide, yellow precipitate, cream precipitate, and silver iodide, yellow precipitate. So it's a silver chloride is a precipitate, it's a solid. That means you can filter the solid from water, right? So filtration, right? Filtration, okay. Next, glucose from a mixture of glucose and maltose. Again, children, glucose is a soluble solid, maltose is a soluble solid. So you can use chromatography, right? Okay. Now, shall we see one more question? Yeah, try yourself. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Try to find the answer. You put pause the video, write the answers in the notebook, then play the video. Okay. Yeah, see the question. Methane from a mixture of gases, methane and ethane. So they mention these are gases. So that means you have to do diffusion, right? And water from magnesium sulfate, same salt. So to separate water, what we have seen? Simple distillation, right? Then glycine from a mixture of amino acid. Again, amino acids are soluble solid, which means what we have to use? Chromatography. Then iron fillings from mixture of iron fillings and water. Here again, filtration, right? Because this will not dissolve in water. So filtration. Zinc sulfate crystals from aqueous zinc sulfate. Over here, zinc sulfate crystals. You need to get crystal, which means what? Crystallization. But over here, they haven't mentioned crystallization. So what we have to do? We have to select evaporation, right? By evaporating the water molecule, you get zinc sulfate crystal, right? Okay, next up. Hexane from a mixture of liquid hexane and octane, which means these two are liquids, right? Liquids in the sense what we have to do? We have to use its boiling point. Hexane, since it has 6 carbon atoms, and octane, it has 8 carbon atoms. It's well known that this has more MR value, which means it has different boiling points. So you can use fractional distillation, right? Thank you for watching this, children. Hope you understood the concept. Only few things will confuse you. You just remind whatever we have seen today. Yeah, bye-bye.